Introduction. Dowry, a long-standing and deeply ingrained social custom in India, has remained a controversial and harmful practice for generations. The tradition, wherein the bride's family is expected to give gifts, money, or property to the groom's family, has contributed to numerous social problems, including gender inequality, financial strain, and violence against women. Despite legal measures and campaigns advocating against dowry, the practice persists in many parts of India, affecting millions of women every year. In this video, we will explore the consequences of dowry, the importance of saying no to it, and how society can move towards a future free from this unjust practice. Historical background of dowry in India. The origins of dowry in India can be traced back to ancient times, but the practice, as we know it today, has evolved over centuries. Traditionally, dowry was intended to be a form of support for the newly married couple, helping them establish a household. Over time, however, dowry became a symbol of wealth and status, leading to its misuse. In many communities, the dowry system became so entrenched that it was seen as an essential component of the marriage process, often with severe consequences for families unable to meet the demands. The dowry system's evolution has led to a society where the value of a woman is often reduced to the dowry she can bring to her marriage. This has led to immense pressure on the bride's family and, in many cases, violence and exploitation of women. The negative impact of dowry on women. Gender discrimination and inequality. Dowry perpetuates deep-rooted gender inequalities. It reinforces the notion that women are lesser than men, treating them as commodities to be purchased by the groom's family. In a society where dowry demands are prevalent, women often find themselves burdened with the task of fulfilling dowry expectations. This fosters an environment where women are seen as less valuable than men, reinforcing harmful stereotypes and limiting opportunities for women in various aspects of life. Economic burden on families. The financial burden that dowry places on the bride's family can be overwhelming, leading to debt, poverty, and in some cases, financial ruin. This puts immense pressure on families to save up, sometimes for years, in order to meet dowry demands. As a result, families may sacrifice their savings, sell assets, or take loans, all in an attempt to ensure that their daughter can be married off successfully. Violence against women. One of the most horrifying consequences of dowry is the violence it often leads to. Unmet dowry demands are a frequent cause of marital abuse, with many women suffering physical and emotional violence at the hands of their husbands or in-laws. The issue has become so pervasive that dowry-related deaths, often referred to as dowry deaths, remain a grim reality in India. These tragic cases, where brides are killed or driven to suicide due to dowry-related pressure, highlight the life-threatening nature of the practice. Social stigma. Women whose families are unable to meet dowry demands often face severe social stigma. The inability to provide an adequate dowry can result in the woman being labeled as unworthy of marriage, or her family being ostracized. This stigma can haunt women for their entire lives, affecting their self-esteem and social standing. Legal measures against dowry. India has a range of laws aimed at curbing the dowry system, with the most prominent being the Dowry Prohibition Act of 1961, which made the giving and receiving of dowry illegal. Further, Sections 304B and 498A of the Indian Penal Code criminalize dowry-related harassment and deaths. Despite these laws, the practice persists, primarily because of social and cultural factors that overshadow legal enforcement. While these laws are important, they need to be more effectively enforced. Many cases go unreported due to fear of social backlash or lack of awareness about legal rights. Families of victims are often reluctant to take legal action because of the deeply entrenched social norms and the stigma that follows. How to say no to dowry? A call for social change. Raising awareness. One of the first steps in combating the dowry system is raising awareness about its harmful effects. Through education, discussions, and campaigns, we must make people aware of the negative impact dowry has on individuals and society. It's crucial to spread the message that marriage should be based on love, trust, and mutual respect, rather than financial transactions. Changing social norms. Social change is essential to eradicating dowry. The collective mindset of society needs to shift from viewing dowry as a norm to rejecting it as a harmful tradition. This change must begin at the grassroots level, with communities, families, and religious leaders all coming together to denounce dowry as a practice. Encouraging families to raise their children with the belief that a woman's worth is not tied to the dowry she brings is vital in creating a more egalitarian society. Empowering women through education, employment, and financial independence is one of the most effective ways to combat dowry. When women have the autonomy to make their own decisions, they are less likely to be seen as a burden on their families. Financially independent women are also in a better position to refuse dowry demands and assert their right to a life free of discrimination and violence. Incentivizing dowry-free marriages. Governments and NGOs can play a role by incentivizing dowry-free marriages. Financial assistance, recognition programs, and rewards for families who refuse dowry can encourage others to follow suit. Celebrating dowry-free marriages in the media and society can also help normalize the idea and inspire others to reject the practice. Enforcing the law. The government must continue to enforce laws against dowry and ensure that perpetrators are held accountable. Legal awareness campaigns should be launched to educate people about their rights under the law and the legal ramifications of demanding or giving dowry. Victims of dowry-related abuse should be encouraged to come forward and report their cases, with law enforcement providing them protection and support. Conclusion. The dowry system is a relic of the past that continues to hold a stranglehold on many families in India. It perpetuates gender inequality, financial hardship, and violence against women, while reinforcing harmful stereotypes about women's worth. By saying no to dowry, we not only reject an unjust practice, but we also pave the way for a society where men and women are treated as equals. We must work together, through education, empowerment, and legal reform, to dismantle this archaic tradition. The time to say no to dowry is now. By speaking out against it, we take the first step toward